Mr. President, I speak to support Ms. Tanya Chan and Mr. Andrew Wan's amendments on updating the Hong Kong PSG on educational and community facilities. We have different schools and tertiary institutions, etc. But I'd like to start with kindergartens. Free kindergarten initiative would be introduced in 2017. The free kindergarten community has recommended that there should be 730 half-day places and 250 whole-day places for every 1,000 children aged between 3 to 6, and the figure should be revised to 500 half-day and 500 whole-day places. That is 250 more than the existing standard. And in the last term, we had the subcommittee on this matter, and this subcommittee and the education sector in general supports this revision. As to when this revision can be implemented and how it can be implemented, there is a big question mark. Although the government is willing to update the Hong Kong PSG in this regard, if we have more whole-day places, we will also face some difficulties because the government has not provided the corresponding assistance to the increase in whole-day places. Because for whole-day places, only 70 to 80% would receive subsidy, whereas for others, school fees would still need to be paid. So if the government refuses to increase the subvention for these kindergartens, then that will mean that more working parents would need to pay school fees for the children, and this is discrimination. And under this initiative, it is also there is also a big question mark whether more kindergartens would create more whole-day places. So when Mrs. Carrie Lam has suggested that we should unleash the potential of women in workforce, instead of tackling the main issue, she'd rather provide more nursery facilities and promote childcare by grandparents. That is, instead of providing more free whole-day kindergarten places. And they even said that for free kindergarten education doesn't mean that everything is free. And this is really disappointing. We don't understand what's the logic of free education not being free. So what is the point of having the Hong Kong PSG? Without policy support, we only have the planning and standards and guidelines on paper. It may look grand, but it is not practical. What about primary and secondary schools? We have the similar situation. We have so many substandard school premises in Hong Kong. The policy blunders of the Education Bureau over the years is a major cause. According to the updated or the latest version of the Hong Kong PSG in June 2016, reference is made to the Education Reform Report in the policy address announced in October 2000. That is, there should be one secondary school for every 1,200 youths aged 12 to 17, and also every primary school for 765 school children aged 6 to 11. And the respective areas should be 6,900 square meters and 6,200 square meters. In fact, these standards were set way before year 2000, so it's more than 2 decades ago. Although these targets are met, it doesn't, in terms of quantity, it doesn't mean that they're up to standard. In fact, the government gave me a reply to my written question yesterday. As of last month, in among the 900 public schools, only some 200, that is a quarter of the public schools, are up to standard in terms of the school premises. And the Education Bureau has also admitted that about 100 school premises only has an area of less than 3,000 square meters. That is less than half the size of a football pitch. For these 100 schools, we can really call them super mini schools. And we also have secondary schools in this category as well. I visited at least 5 of these schools. So you can imagine that the builds of secondary students have got bigger, and they're crammed in the small classrooms. And the whole school premises occupy not even half of the football pitch. And you also have other facilities inside the classroom, like computers. So it's jam-packed. I, a while ago, also visited a Shoebox Village School. It will be renovated soon, but because of the fragmented or an uncoordinated approach of the different government departments, the plan is still not finalized, and we don't know when it will be made up to standard. And we also have substandard school halls and basketball courts, and also lack of barrier-free facilities in schools. So it is time to improve the Hong Kong PSG so that these school premises can be made up to standard. You cannot say that they were up to standard at the time it was built. We need to improve it.